Good afternoon, everyone. All of the 0 people that are here right now. Let's see. We need to do the Discord alert. Okay, Discord. Let's see. We're gonna go here. LOL, I tagged. Enter. Alright, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out this video that one of the people in my Discord sent me. It's a little long, but let me pause the music real quick. This is something about using NeoVim versus VS Code or something or other.
In this video, I'm going to explain why I'm pretty much done with VS Code and why I plan to go back into using NeoVim. I'll explain my decision.
So apparently the guy that shared this, what's up Network Bib? Hello. The guy that shared this in my Discord said, I don't know this YouTuber, Melky. I don't know him at all. But the guy in my Discord said that this guy apparently was a NeoVim user, then switched to VS Code. Now he's going back to NeoVim. And part of me wonders if content creators do this just because they need content. Like, if you switch editors every 6 months and have a different opinion and become, if you just go contrarian, every time everybody moves to VS Code, you go to NeoVim. Every time everybody moves to NeoVim, you go to VS Code. It just gives you something to talk about. But let's hear what he has to say.
With VS Code, the pros and cons of both.
Also, I'm going to listen to this at 2x because I do not want to spend 15 minutes.
And how I ultimately landed on my decision at the end of the video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Melky. I'm a senior machine learning engineer over at Twitch, and I've gone from NeoVim to VS Code, and I'm going to go back to NeoVim.
An engineer at Twitch, that's pretty cool.
I'll explain everything right now. So to give you guys some context, about 1 year ago, I released a video called Why I'm Leaving NeoVim after 4 years for VS Code. And in this video, I go over the reasoning I had for basically leaving NeoVim and embracing VS Code. I still think some of the points I have here are certainly valid to some extent.
How long ago was that? VS Code. It was a year ago. Okay, so he's been doing this for a year. So I mean,
but since then, I think I realized, and using VS Code for the whole year, I realized maybe I took some things for granted for NeoVim, and I was made aware of some of the cons that came with VS Code. And from that video, I was able to create my custom VS Code configuration, which you can see here on the screen. And one thing I kept was
Network Bib. I bought the controller for the nanobots. Hey, that's awesome, man. Good for you, dude. I'm glad you're making progress on your project.
Extension available on VS Code. And the reason for that is I'm able to navigate and use Vim bindings as I did in NeoVim. You can see here, I'm able to open the file tree, no problem.
Network Big, I'm not. I saw your message in Discord. I am not good at 3D modeling. And I'm guessing there's not anybody in my Discord that is either. It's not really, that doesn't seem like something that would be in the general community around this channel's vibes, but who knows, there may be somebody hanging out in chat who...
I can go and open up the terminal as well and get away from it. I can even do something like split the pane, vertical or horizontal, and navigate between them. So this is pretty basic VS Code and Vim navigation. And if you are interested in this, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But here's my entire VS Code bindings. You can see it's just a key bindings.json and a settings.json file, which shows you how I navigate through the terminal, to the file tree, and a bunch of other different commands I have. Like my leader key, and just the overall configuration I have.
That could be useful. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna mark this, star this. Wow, 411 stars. He has 411 stars just on his VS Code bindings.
Have for VS Code. Now, you may be looking at this and asking, well, if it looks so good and it's so close to Neovim, why would you leave? Why would you go back to Neovim? What does it lack? And if I had to give you one concrete answer, it would be the built-in terminal. The built-in terminal for VS Code is straight up dog doo-doo. It's not good, it's slow, it's pretty limited. It looks so awkward to just be kind of like halfway, and I guess you can adjust it, but it gets in the way.
His number one reason is the built-in terminal. What?
The actual editor. I know some people have it to the side, but what I really don't like is any obstruction in my actual editor, in the actual code that I write. I don't want to have anything that's in the way of my code. So if I split up a terminal, I now can't see what was below here. It's not a game changer, or it's not like a killer, but it just proves to be a big pain point. And I also don't like the fact that if I don't want to use the terminal, I actually have to go open a brand new window and have my terminal set. So here, I'll show you if I want to open up a new terminal or a new window, I now have to have one window, one application running for my terminal, and then I have VS Code running as well. In this kind of configuration,
so the way I solve this when I work in VS Code is I just open the terminal in the editor pane. So you can do that. So like in VS Code, you can just have, which maybe he already knows this, but like you can have your VS Code open, and instead of having the terminal down here, you can say create terminal in editor area like this. And then it's going to take a minute for PowerShell to load, but then you just navigate between these like you would. So that's how I do it, but I understand what he's saying about not obstructing the files he's working on.
It's just super annoying. And so that led me to this great video from Joshua Martinez. I recommend you guys check it out. Link in the description down below. But how I set up Neovim to make amazing in 2020.
Sorry guys, hold on, let me look at Vishal. Hi. Hello Vishal, how are you doing? Network Bib. Then I have to learn it myself. Go for it, Network Bib. Learn all the skills. Vishal. Which drink are you drinking? This is like my favorite protein shake right now. It's Premier Protein, and the flavor is called Cafe Latte. And if you know anybody who works at Premier Protein, please get them to reach out to me or put me in contact with them, because I would love them to be a sponsor. Because me and my wife go through a case of this every week. So yeah. If I could recoup some of my losses, that would be great.
For the ultimate guide. Now, I have to agree, this is truly the ultimate guide. You can see I'm going to open up my Western here. I have it open. This is the configuration that you basically create if you follow that video. You can see all the movement, and this is essentially my configuration using Neovim. And you can see here, I'm going to open up the exact same code that we saw in VS Code, but this time using Neovim, and I can navigate through things just relatively the same, but there's just so many pros that I won't get into right now. So the first pro I have to say is definitely the file manager. One of my favorite plugins to use is going to definitely be the Telescope plugin made by TJ DeVries. This is just such an ultimate plugin for just fuzzy finding different files, different search greps for any kind of string you may have in your code.
The live grep thing is pretty nice. Yeah, that's one thing I wish, because VS Code has, like, you can do Control Shift F, and you can search, your whole file, tree that way, which is kind of like find grep, but I do agree. I like that experience in Neovim a little bit more.
Navigation and going through things very smoothly using something like Telescope. Now, before we continue with this video, if you are using Neovim, please let me know in the comment section below what is your favorite plugin and a link to your configuration so you can check it out, and I'm interested to see how your Neovim configuration looks like.
Sure, man, I'll do that. Let's see. Let's see if I use Neovim. Where's the comments here? Let's see. My favorite thing about using Neovim is staying in the terminal. No, that's probably not my favorite. My favorite thing about using Neovim has been learning Vim motions. Here are my configs. Not that anyone cares, because I'm a noob Neovim configurator. But it's kind of funny that I say that that's my favorite thing about Neovim is learning Vim motions, which is, I think, a good thing, because it means that all my time that I've spent in Neovim, whether I stick with it forever or not, I'll always be able to take away that skill.
up a second window. I can just open up a different terminal tab using Western or Ghost or whatever you want to use. I can go ahead and run my commands through my terminal curl here, for example. I can switch back to NeoVim and quickly just go back.
Vishal, I thought it was beer. Nice.
It just feels clunky. It feels like it's just not really giving me a lot of opportunity to navigate through my code base, make a change, go back, run it in the terminal, and I just feel like too much friction in the VS Code environment. Now, I will say about VS Code that I noticed after using it, VS Code, although how powerful it is, and it is a pretty good editor, I will say it gets pretty jank. Like, it sometimes freezes, it sometimes takes a long time to load, it's super laggy sometimes. Like, if I open up another tab here and I just write code,
I mean, that's fair. There are times when you do have to,
I'm already here. It's different, right? One's a TUI,
like,
one's like an
Control Shift P, reload window.
that small latency, if you will, is actually a big deal when it comes to getting it and getting to the flow state as fast as you possibly can. So another thing I really enjoy about NeoVim is the open source aspect of it. You can see all these different plugins I have are basically created by open source maintainers, contributors, and authors. And open source is definitely something I want to get better at. I want to contribute to more open source projects. I want to open source projects, and just having that kind of ability.
Yeah, VS Code though is the same. I mean,
it just gives it a lot of value for me to feel very proud and feel very nice in supporting people and using their work in my NeoVim configuration. Now, however, I will say there is a drawback about NeoVim, and this is something I've said before.
I mean, you can say that about VS Code plugins. I mean, VS Code's open source. Lots of the plugins are open source. They're built by the community. I don't know if that's really a...
Right, breaking change in plugins. Because it's open source, there's no guarantee, and there's really no expectations that someone will continue to maintain your favorite plugin. And the NeoVim Vim kind of ecosystem for plugins is known to move around quite rapidly, right? Especially like LSPs. There's one that was Mason, and people still use the older one or not. So, and even package manager or how you download your plugins. There's a bunch of different ways. And so for me, the way I was able to revolve around that is to actually just lock my plugins, like create a snapshot of the versions, their configurations, and just save that, right? The lazylock.json, something like this, right? And just kind of logs and commits the version of the plugin I'm using with my NeoVim configuration, and that can solve it all for me. I'm not really one to go in, modify my NeoVim. I have better things to do. I have a wife and an actual job, so I can't really spend my time just configuring my NeoVim configurations. Now, one other thing
yeah, that is definitely, to me that's definitely the biggest knock I have. NeoVim versus VS Code is, I mean, you're kind of signing up to be the caretaker of your editor in a way that VS Code doesn't ask you to do.
Require through your IDE. Now,
in my opinion,
like their PHP IDE, their Python IDE, their Golang IDE, and it's really like a one-stop shop for everything you ever need to use in that programming language. Since you are using NeoVim and it's kind of bring your own plugin and bring your own configuration, you have to really set everything up yourself. So if you're using something like, let's say, Scala, which is what I use every time for work if I want to handle real-time systems, I can obviously find a LSP for Scala.
Scala. I've never written any Scala before.
Marketplace has lots of different things that make it easier to work with Scala. Some things are made
Network. The stream has low video resolution. Maybe it is on my side. Maybe. I mean, I can look myself.
There are certain things that the extension marketplace has that is just going to be harder to replicate and requires more time configuring if you want to do it yourself in NeoVim. Now, this wouldn't be a Melky video without Excalibur, and I'm going to give you the pros of both NeoVim and VS Code as well as the cons. I'm going to conclude why I chose NeoVim, considering all the different things here. Okay, so first, NeoVim just feels faster. It's snappier, it's faster. It really is, right? VS Code, it just gets clunky. It's open source. I can fully customize it, right? With VS Code, even though I got pretty close with the customization factor, it was still pretty far from what I wanted to do, and I really like make some sacrifices, which I don't really want to do or have to do with NeoVim. Another one is Prime, and TJ will like you and it will acknowledge you if you use NeoVim.
Yeah, the resolution looks okay for me, NeoVim, so must be on your side.
I think regardless of what you use Vim bindings. Like, if you go with VS Code, that's fine. Use Vim bindings. If you don't use my attached VS Code bindings, fine. But Vim makes it easier for you to navigate your experience in your editor without the mouse. And with NeoVim, it just feels like they go.
I think. Hold on.
You're forcing Vim to work like VS Code.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is me.
It's very reliable in terms of because it's an enterprise editor used by hundreds of millions of people all around the world. They're not going to introduce a breaking change that breaks all.
Let's see. Video.
The marketplace is pretty catered, so you can have some quality there in terms of what extension you can use. And I think the biggest thing for VS Code, it just works out of box, right? I know NeoVim has things that you can use out of box, like Kickstart and other things, and a lot of good tutorials.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. That's a good question.
And that may take some tinkering and learning Lua or whatever configuration.
Let me look at my let me look at my stream settings. Or let me pause that because that's hard to listen to and talk at the same time. Man, I haven't changed anything. Looks like my frames are good. Kilobits per second, right? That looks fine. Let me look at. I'll look on this computer. It looked the stream quality on my phone didn't look quite as good. Right? That looks fine. Oh, you probably don't want to hear me talk twice. Yeah, right now I'm getting 1080p 60 on my computer, so it must just be dependent on your connection, network bib, how good the quality comes through. But things on my end look okay. So sorry about that if it's coming through kind of crappy. All right, we're almost done with this video.
All you have to do. So just kind of click and you're good. Okay, now let's move on to the cons of NeoVim. So first, I already said there's some breaking changes that can be introduced depending on other open source maintainers for your favorite plugin. It takes time to set up and get how you want to work, and adding support for many languages takes time. Okay, and the cons for VS Code is they steal your data. It's Microsoft, so yeah, that's Microsoft. And I'll say not the best Vim experience. Okay, so with all that,
this one seems dumb to me. I just say it's Microsoft. That seems like a really dumb reason. Steal your data. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what he's referring to. That seems like a pretty serious allegation. I'm not sure what that is in reference to.
was able to conclude that NeoVim, because of the experience, because it just feels faster and snappier, because once I'm able to get more comfortable with Lua, the time to invest to make the changes and customize it doesn't feel too daunting. And the thing that really helped me again was the snapshot of my Lua configuration, my lazylock.json. This solves a lot of the issues of breaking changes. I never have to worry about it ever again. Now, as an added bonus, I know some people are going to ask me why don't I use something like Cursor or Windsurf, and this is actually Windsurf. I have the ultimate package. I like the Windsurf team a lot, and I have used Cascade. I personally think it's a good offering. It's a great service. However, for me, in NeoVim and in VS Code, I don't use anything that changed the code in my actual editor, right? I don't have Copilot. I don't have the extension that just like does autocomplete tab 9 Maven, none of that. So when it comes to like, kind of embracing a Windsurf or a Cursor, it's a little too much for me to swallow, to have to see something just write a bunch of code for me, which I know I'm probably going to have to debug or learn what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
To manage at the end. So
that's fair. I'm not a vibe coder, as we found out yesterday.
Better than the cons. Of course, the cons suck, but I think as I kind of got better, and as I learned more VS Code, I realized what I was missing, right? The more I was in this VS Code land, the more I realized, like, wait, this feels kind of not natural. I think that's really the biggest answer for me, right? Like, I didn't script that, but using VS Code just didn't feel natural to me. And I think no matter where you are, no matter what you do, no matter what new piece of tech editor that comes out that you're interested in using, if it doesn't feel natural, if it's almost unexplainable, that one feels better than the other, just use the one that you like. Use the one that you instinctually gravitate towards. Because even when I was using VS Code, and I even want to make a point about VS Code, I still always felt like I missed NeoVim. Always felt like when I saw some configuration, I was like, oh, that looks so nice, and it just feels so clean, so snappy. And really, for me, NeoVim just feels like something I feel more comfortable at home with, and it just makes me develop faster. And honestly, it's just more fun. Like, it's just more.
I mean, that's totally fair, and I think everyone should use the editor they want to use. I don't necessarily know if I agree with all of his points there on the pros versus cons. I've been a VS Code user for like. He was a VS Code user for a year. I've been a VS Code user for like 4 years probably, but basically since I started coding. And I've been a NeoVim user for like the last 3 months. So I think I need a little bit longer in NeoVim world to make kind of a similar video or opinionated video. If you ask me today, if somebody asked me today though about it, I would say VS Code is the better editor in my opinion. As long as you can configure it to use Vim motions. Because I can totally see how if you couldn't configure VS Code to use Vim motions, I'd probably then say NeoVim is superior just because of the keyboard-centric workflow. But maybe that changes the more I'm in NeoVim. It's just NeoVim requires a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to get things configured. And when you want to learn a new language or you want to pick up something new, there's all of this work that stands between you and actually writing the code, right? So if your NeoVim configuration is set up to work with JavaScript and you decide, you know what, I want to learn Rust, before you can just start writing Rust, right? You're going to have to go through all this work to set up and configure NeoVim to make writing Rust enjoyable to begin with. Whereas with VS Code, there's going to be just a plugin that you install and boom, you're off to the races. I don't know. So that may not be fair to NeoVim because I haven't spent enough time in it yet, but that's where I'm at. Interesting video though. Interesting to hear his take as somebody who was NeoVim, made the switch, and now is switching back. Somebody in my Discord shared that video, so I wanted to make sure and watch it and reply. Let's see. What do I want to say? Interesting take. Not sure I agree with the first 2 cons he listed about VS Code. I think the developer tools Microsoft makes and maintains are pretty baller. And not sure what he is referring to when he says they steal your data. Nonetheless, good to hear someone else's experience moving between the two. All right, let's see. Let's catch up on some chat here. Network Bib, what? I have 1 gig Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm not sure, Network Bib. When I pulled it up on my computer, the quality was okay. When I looked it on my phone, I kind of had the same experience as you did. I only see 480p. and I'm not sure why, because everything in OBS looks fine at the moment. And so I'm not sure. Now my phone says 720p 60. So I'm guessing it's something to do with your connection. I could be wrong. Network bib. I'm a vibe coder. Yeah, not for me. If I don't know the language. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair, Network bib. What you just said of I'm a vibe coder if I don't know the language, I think that's totally fair. And I think that's for most of us, vibe coding is kind of where it starts when you're learning any language, right? Like you're going to try to figure it out through Googling, asking ChatGPT, coming up with ideas for projects that sound fun, right? But after a certain point of like learning, you want to be able to just kind of own that knowledge, in my opinion. Disoriented. What's up, Disoriented? Sorry, I missed your messages. Disoriented. 1080p 60 FPS for me. It's okay. Oh, awesome. Cool. So yeah, it's what I suspect. It must have something to do with connections on the mobile devices. Because things look fine here in OBS for me. So Disoriented said VS Code for Live has a bigger community, a lot of extensions. What are the advantages of NeoVim? Yeah, I honestly, Disoriented, I'm kind of leaning in your direction on that whole editor thing. I mean, I kind of already said that, so I don't mean to repeat myself, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I think if you made me pick, if you told me, hey, you can only use one editor for the rest of your life, you got to pick today, I would pick VS Code, and then I would just set up the Vim motions key bindings better than I have them today to replicate what I'm doing in NeoVim currently. And a lot of that is predicated on the fact that it's easier to debug things in VS Code. It's easier to get up and running on a new technology or a new language. You don't have to go down the rabbit hole of configurations, right? Which is, I mean, that can be fun sometimes, but if your goal is to go from, I don't know something, I want to learn it, or I want to get something done, I don't want to spend an hour configuring in order to spend an hour doing work, right? So yeah, I think for me, I'm kind of with you on that boat at the moment. I've said this before. I would love for the other thing I love about VS Code is I think there's a really cool story behind it. There's a really cool group of people and team behind it, and I would love for them to make a documentary about that. All right, so I don't really know. Let's see. I've got about 22 minutes left. No, I've been streaming for 22 minutes, so I have about 38 minutes left before I have to go back to work. You guys want to do? I kind of want to do like a. Let's see. I saw something. Let's see if I can find it again. I saw something on. Let's see. I saw a funny post on LinkedIn that was like, I asked people to do this in an interview and give them 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do that in 25 minutes. Disoriented. Bye. Or Network Bib. Bye. Gotta go to sleep. See you, Network Bib. Thanks for hanging out on the stream, man. Good luck with your nanobots, man. I'm sorry I can't be more help with that project. But looking forward to see what you do, man. I would love one day to have some nanobots show up at my front door. Or maybe a life-size Baymax. My kids would lose their mind. Big Hero 6 is such a good movie. All right. So yesterday we kind of screwed around and we did we did we were basically like vibe coding with Copilot agent mode, uh, which I mean was cool. I mean, it was definitely a really cool piece of technology, and it's really impressive what it can do. Like all the agent functionality of it is what I found impressive. The ability to, you know, run commands in the terminal and create folders and files and write code and all that stuff for you. I wasn't terribly impressed with its ability to come to a solution and troubleshoot through the solution. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think the thing that struck me the most about that experience yesterday was the fact that I was uninterested in what I was doing. I don't know. Like I'd be interested to hear from you guys if you've done much with Cursor or Copilot agent mode or Windsurf. Like if you don't have fingers on the keyboard and you're actually writing code, are you interested in what you're doing if you're just prompting an AI the whole time? Because that, to me, that wasn't super interesting. Which tells me if software engineering, if software engineering becomes that, if developing software becomes that activity, I'll probably be looking at a different career. To be completely honest, I mean, not that my career today is a software engineer, you know, but in terms of like ever wanting to be a software engineer, like even I guess even if in my day job today, if they were like, hey, you have to write all your automated tests using an AI powered editor, I'd be like, well, I don't think I want to do that anymore. Disoriented. I think for beginners like me, we should stay away from vibe coding. I think that's fair. Disoriented. I mean, I when I started learning to code, I don't think Copilot was a thing yet. ChatGPT had just or ChatGPT came out like after, because I started learning to code in 2021. Like I seriously started to learn how to code in 2021. Yeah, and I don't think I'd want it either, Disoriented, honestly. I don't think I'd want the AI taking my reps of working through problems and, you know, getting that muscle memory in my fingers of how to do things, how to write a for loop. I don't think I'd want AI taking that from me if I was in the early stages of learning. And I'm in the early stages of learning Go, and every time I sit down to learn Go, I disable Copilot, you know, because I just don't want the AI taking my reps. Umar, what do you think about RPA tech? Think it's got a future? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with RPA. What's that stand for? Maybe I just don't know the abbreviation. Maybe I do know the tech, but I don't know the abbreviation. Let's see if Google can help unconfuse me. RPA technology, robotic process automation. Is this what that company UiPath does? I think this is what they sell. UiPath. Robotic. Yeah, this is what they. I'm pretty sure that's what this company does. Yeah, robotic process automation. So yes, I have heard of that technology. I had never, I guess, used that abbreviation for it before. I guess I think it's cool, right? This is the same idea of like writing end-to-end automated tests for a browser, but you're doing automation essentially. Like you can do even automation with like spreadsheets, right? You can do almost like automation of a desktop environment. So I think the one thing I think about this that's okay, so the one caveat I guess I would say about this technology is like, does it have a future? For sure. Like, is there a market for it? Obviously, right? Because like, let's look like UiPath. They're a publicly listed company. They have revenues of over $1 billion. Like, there's a future, right? But I would add, my one thing, just as like a non-expert in the field, is I would wonder, like, is that the right layer of abstraction to be automating, right? Just because humans today work in Excel and Word and drive a cursor around a screen is like, would we maybe be better suited to do automation in some other way that allows robots to interact with things? And when I say robotic, I mean like I don't mean like an actual robot sitting at a keyboard and mouse. I mean like robotic in the terms of like driving a cursor around the screen. I guess my question would be like, does that make sense to automate that, the driving of the cursor around the screen, or would it make more sense to expose interfaces, to expose things through interfaces that are more, I don't know, what's the right word, more aligned with the robots? I think this is the same thing I have with LLMs. This is the same question I have with large language models. Is if you're going to turn large language models into more of an agentic thing, where these models take actions, it probably makes sense to think about the interfaces that we expose to large language models, right? And I think this is why model context protocol is catching on. If you can take existing pieces of technology and put a new interface on it that's a common standard and shared across AI models, that seems like a much better investment of time than each company trying to go and invent its own agent framework. That's kind of my current thought right now on the whole agentic AI thing. It's like I think you'd be better off creating and implementing an MCP server for your particular technology than trying to implement your own agentic framework inside your existing technology. Intel. Hi, what's up, Intel? Umar, I've been in RPA tech for 45 years now, but AI's coming in and messing with RPA automation. Interesting. So everything I said, right, was completely from an ignorant perspective, right? I've never worked in that tech. So that's pretty cool to hear, Umar, that you're in that world. And I'd be curious, how is AI impacting you guys? Is it disrupting RPA in the sense that it's making it not useful, or like it's like subsuming it? Because I guess I could kind of see that, but curious how it's actually impacting you guys. I spent 30 minutes just running my mouth, haven't I? Let's see. So let's get away from this Google search, and I think since we're talking, I think I'll just work on learning some Go while we're talking. Excuse me, I've been yawning all day today. I think I stayed up too late last night. Disoriented. What is Go used for? From my understanding, it's primarily used for developing things on the back end. So Go is statically typed and compiled, right? So it's more akin to something like C#, right, or Java. Go's also garbage collected. I think those are the three kind of features that I usually think about languages in, right? Is it garbage collected? Is it static? Is it garbage collected or not garbage collected? Is it statically typed or dynamically typed? Is it compiled or not? Or is it compiled or is it interpreted, right? And so from my understanding, I think Go has most of its applications have to do with like building web APIs, like backend services, CLIs. That seems to be its kind of bent. But I think you can use it to build I mean, just about anything, right? I mean, other than, well, I guess maybe you could use Go in WebAssembly. I was gonna say other than build, like have code run in the browser. Let's see. Can Go run in WebAssembly? I think it can. Yeah, it can, because this was one of the things the TypeScript team talked about, where they know that they're going to need a playground, and so in that playground they're going to have to compile TypeScript, right? They're going to have to transpile TypeScript to JavaScript to run it. And this was one of the things that someone brought up, was like, when Go runs, they claimed a 10x performance with native code when the compiler is written in Go, but then somebody, I think, did an analysis or something, and they give up that performance when Go runs in WebAssembly because of some technical details that I don't understand. But yeah, so I guess you could also write stuff, like you could probably build something in Go that runs in your browser. I don't know what that would be, but let's see. Web. I'm getting close to the end of these tutorials, actually. Let's see. I think we were on WebSockets, weren't we? That's where we were. And looks like we're going to have to bring in a external package, or at least maybe an external package that makes life easier. For this, we will have to go get the popular Gorilla WebSockets library. Did Umar ever tell us how AI is affecting RPA automation? No, he didn't. I wonder if he's still here. Okay, so let's make a new folder. WebSockets. And I always do that. WebSockets /. Then we'll make a new tab because I need to go mod init this thing. I think the first thing I'm going to build with Go is going to be like a resume site, just like a static server rendered. And like I'm going to build it. And I'm going to stick it in a Docker container and run it on my VPS, I think. Purely just because I need to build something. And I want to start kind of small. Disoriented. Good night, Steven. See you, Disoriented. Have a good evening, man. Sleep well. Thanks for hanging out in the stream, man. Appreciate you. It's always nice to have familiar faces hanging around. Okay, go mod init. And then we'll go back to our other tab. And let's make a sockets.go file. All right, so first things first, we need to say package main, because that's our entry. This is going to be our entry point. Okay, so we're going to do, we also need to do, we need to get that package, that external package. So we need to do go get Gorilla WebSocket. I wonder what the story is behind the gorilla thing. Like, gorillas are one of my favorite animals, so I'm curious. There's actually some gorillas at the Kansas City Zoo here where I live. That's one of my favorite things whenever we do go to the zoo. Going and watching the gorillas is one of my favorite things to do at the zoo. Gorillas Go packages. Gorilla, the Golang Web Toolkit. Wow, they have a lot of packages. They have a CSRF middleware. That seems important to know about. We use that. We use sessions. We use this for the router. But I wonder who came up with, let's see, source community. This says Gorilla Font by Vernon Adams. I wonder if he has something to do with... I always like to know more about the people behind the technology. There's only 3 people that are a part of this org, so... That's actually probably something I should do, since I should probably do Advent of Code this year in Go. That would probably be a good challenge for me. Remind me of that. If you guys are still around when Christmas comes around this year, remind me to use Go. What am I doing? I'm trying to implement WebSockets. So var upgrader equals WebSocket. And then dot, why is that not upgrader? Read buffer size is going to be 1024. Write buffer size is going to be the same size. Excuse me. Also, Copilot, stop trying to steal my learnings. And then we'll just declare a main function. And this is just going to have a single handler. So HTTP dot handle func. This will be echo. And then inside here, we're going to say connection. Equals upgrader dot upgrade. Let's see, the response header is included in the response to the client's upgrade request. Upgrade upgrades the HTTP server connection to the WebSocket protocol. Nice. Okay, pass in nil here. So I think this is error. So we could actually say like, we could say if error does not equal nil dot print line error upgrading connection. And now we need to loop. So is this just like an endless loop in Go? Does anybody here write Go? Oh wow, no one's watching. Meow. Hey, what's up, Meow? Let's see. Go for loop. So what happens if you just do this? This just runs endlessly, I guess. Huh. It's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. Go for loop endless. Yeah, this is just an infinite loop. So like normally, if you know, in like JavaScript or C#, you would just do while true, right? Something like that. But that's kind of nice. Nice little syntactic sugar there. Meow, what are you building, Steven? I'm not building anything at the moment, Meow. I'm just learning about Go. I started streaming, and then we were like 30 minutes in, and I was like, man, I don't have enough time to actually sit down and work on a real task. So I just decided to keep learning Go, which is something I started doing like like a month ago, on a whim. And so I've just been learning it intermittently. Shub Hang. Hello, Shub Hang. First time I've ever seen you in the chat, so thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. All right, back to what we're doing. Okay, so now that we have this loop in here, this is where we're going to do stuff with the connection. So we're going to say message type, message, and error. And connection.read. Ooh, it has a read JSON method. That's nice. Read JSON reads the next JSON encoded message from the connection, stores it in the value pointed to by v. Interesting. That's convenient. If error return, so this is going to terminate the loop, and we'll say error reading message, and then format dot print, and we're gonna I still don't know what all these symbols mean in the formatted string, like %s. I don't know what it means, but I'm just gonna type it because that's what the tutorial says. Remote address. And then I guess we're going to, this is basically the same as like casting. We're going to create a string from the message. What's the message type? I wonder why we have to do that. Oh, it's bytes. So we're going to build a string from bytes. And then we're going to write the message back. So we'll say if error. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna call this actually write error equals connection dot write message type message, and then we'll say if write error does not equal nil, format dot print line, and we'll say error writing message. Look at this. Oh, I also missed the colon. Okay, that's that handler. Now I need another handler that's going to serve an HTML file that we can use to talk to the server. Meow. I'll be going to bed now. Have a good day / night. See ya, Meow. Thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good day. Shabhang. Yes, this is actually my first time here. Nice. Very cool. Well, good to have you here. The channel's mostly about coding and programming. Sometimes I do a workout stream every now and again and just chat. Sometimes I do like an office hour where we just kind of hang out and chat while we work. But yeah, good to have you here. No pressure though, you know. If you see me live now and again, want to stop in and say hi, that's awesome, but totally get it if the channel's not for you. Okay, so now we're gonna serve at our root. We are gonna serve that HTML file So http.serve file, and we're going to serve it with websockets.html. We'll create that in a minute. Let's print that the server is going to be listening. And then let's actually listen. We will listen and we will serve. 8080. No. Okay, then we need to make that WebSockets file. So we'll say websockets.html. And they have some markup for me already, so I'm just going to copy and paste that. Okay, so we'll say go run. Sumit, hey yo, what's up? Hello Sumit, how are you doing? Stefan, hey, what's up Stefan? We almost made it through a whole stream without you hanging around, man. This was like the first. This seemed like it was gonna be the first stream in a while that Stefan hadn't been in the chat, so that's pretty cool. You showed up. Stefan, you are looking particularly oh yeah, you like this? I have like 2 or 3 of these black collared shirts. So this used to be, at my old job we didn't have a uniform. Like when I worked as a food scientist, we didn't have a uniform other than just like business casual. So I bought several shirts, and I bought several shirts just like this, and then several sets of khaki pants, and this is what I wore to work like every day for almost 5 years. But today I had a meeting where I needed to kind of look semi-professional, which isn't very often nowadays, now that I work from home, but that's the reason for the collared shirt. It's not really my style, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. One sec, I gotta adjust my camera. It's getting a little bright in here. Stefan, I didn't get the notification. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Stefan, what's the temp in Canada today? I honestly don't know. But I'm in Kansas in the United States. But we can look it up. 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Here in Kansas, it's been okay. It started pretty cold. It was like 32 degrees, but I think the high, let's see, Kansas City, Kansas. Yeah, the high's like 61, 59, 60. It's pretty nice. Right now here is 1.2 Celsius. That's pretty cold, right? That's like freezing. Yeah, that's what it was this morning here. So I feel bad for you. Stefan, I don't know why I thought you were in Canada. Well, Canada and Kansas. I mean, you know, I can see like the first syllable there can lead you astray. So no worries, man. Okay, so we need to actually look at localhost 8080. And so this should serve up. Okay, there we go. We're connected. Okay, status connected. All right, so let's say hello WebSocket server. There we go. And it's all working. And I bet if we look at the network tab, we should be able to see. Right, we should be able to see a WebSocket connection there. Yep, there we go. And we can see the messages. Yo, bro. Nice. Okay, well that wasn't too hard to implement. But we do need an external package. Stefan, have you done your workout today? I went for a long walk. I did my walk, like 45-minute walk. I walked down to my kid's school and back, basically. It's like a couple miles. But I haven't lifted. But I will. I am gonna lift. I'll probably lift after work today. Once I gotta go back to work in about 5 minutes. But then after my kids get home and everyone settles in from the day, I'll probably go out to the garage and throw the weights around. You know? All right, so now we know how to use WebSockets and Go, and it is Go, Stefan. That's actually what it is. So I guess this is if you wanted to implement some sort of chat application, right? You'd probably use WebSockets, and obviously your front end might be more complex than that, but the back end wasn't too bad. Actually, the back end probably would be a little bit more complex because you probably wouldn't just want to be passing strings back and forth, right? You probably want to be passing structured data, and you'd probably want to parse this. Although this has a read JSON method, so I'm wondering if you've I'm wondering if you'd read the message and then parse it to JSON, or if that read JSON method would handle the parsing for you. But in any event, it's not as nice as using SignalR in C#, but not too bad. I don't think I have time to start the next tutorial. I'm getting pretty far though. I'm almost done with them. Once I get to the end here, then I'll actually build a proper website. I think the last thing they're going to talk to me about is password hashing, and you're going to use bcrypt. Every language uses bcrypt for password hashing. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward stuff. Although I'm not going to build, I don't think I'm going to, my first project in Go is not going to need most of this stuff. My first project in Go is basically just going to be a static server rendered. It's going to be a server side rendered website. I mean, I could probably get away with a static site, but I want to build it in Go so I can learn Go. So it's probably overkill to use Go to build a resume site, but we'll see. Stefan, well, too bad I came at the end of the stream. No worries, man. It happens. Yeah, you too, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Oh, you're going to sleep, so yeah, sleep well, man. Somebody else was here on stream, and they were like, "I'm out. I'm going to bed." So my streams must put people to sleep. That's what I'm picking up on, is that people come to my streams so they can get sleepy and fall asleep. It's the music, isn't it? You guys can be honest. Or it's the content. You can be honest. JJ Davis, Steven. What's up, JJ Davis? Impressive that you typed my name correctly. Very few people actually spell my name correctly, even people I know. Stefan, it's the time zones. Yeah, I figured it's the time zones, but I think it's kind of funny. Like, I think it's kind of funny to think like people might use my stream to help them fall asleep. JJ Davis, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good. How are you doing, JJ? How's life in your world? $11 p.m. for me. Yeah, that's late, man. Last night I stayed up way too late watching people play Call of Duty. I just couldn't fall asleep. Couldn't fall asleep. Maybe too much caffeine on my end. JJ Davis, I'm doing great, bro. We blessed. We woke up today. Hey, JJ Davis, I fuck with that, man. People ask me all the time, like, how are you doing? And I always say, I woke up today. I'm healthy. My wife's healthy. My kids are healthy. The rest is all icing on the cake, you know? So, couldn't agree with you more. Stefan. My guy over here watching COD. Yeah, dude, I love my favorite Call of Duty streamers are well, it used to be Tim the Tatman and Nick Merckx, but those guys don't really play anymore. Tim is streaming right now. I think today is his birthday and he's doing a Call of Duty stream. But now it's either Z-Laner, Bobby Poff, or Jowo. All those guys are fun to watch play. I watch them because I'm like, man, I wish I could play Call of Duty that way. Stefan, I should probably also follow your lead and not drink coffee after 2 or 3 p.m. But then you lose that focus, man. You lose that hit of focus that the caffeine gives you when it's just like coursing through your veins 24/7. JJ Davis, it's 4:36 p.m. for me. Oh, nice. You must be close to me then. It's 3:37 where I'm at. I'm in Central Standard Time Zone. JJ, it's Tim's B-Day. Oh, I gotta go watch his wish his case. Look himself happy. Well, happy cake day. That's what I say. But still, yeah, it's his birthday. I'm pretty sure. Him, Cloaksy, and there were several guys. Kane Brown, play the country music singer. He plays Call of Duty with him. Stefan, well, you gotta feel tired sometimes. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're right. I do. You sound like my wife, Stefan. She's always on my ass about not sleeping enough. Well, guys, the hour is up. I need to head back to work and finish out the workday. I appreciate you guys chilling with me, though, on lunches like this. I know my streams aren't very long, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. Stefan, well, your wife is a smart woman. She is a very smart woman. I am a lucky man. Very lucky man. I outkicked my coverage, you could say. Yeah. All right, guys. See you, Stefan. See you, JJ. Thanks for stopping by. Anybody else who's here, appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. If you're relatively new to the stream, I usually am live about 2 o'clock Central Standard most days for about an hour or so. And then if you want to talk or hang out outside of the stream, you can check out our Discord. There's a link in my channel's channel description or channel links. You're welcome to join the Discord and hang out there with us. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. See y'all guys.